Most new traders make one critical mistake. They focus on how much money they can actually make and completely ignore how much they can actually lose. And trading isn't just about trying to make as much money as possible, it's about staying in the game long enough to succeed. So as you can see here, we are currently on the PU Prime app within the homepage, and I'm going to show you just how you can put on trades and look after your risk, make sure that you're not over leveraging and make sure that you are looking after your account. So when you go to trade, you have that peace of mind. So what you're going to do is you're going to head over to trades. Now you're going to be logged in, this is going to be on the demo or it's going to be on your live account. And as you can see here in the top right, it says my equity is 100,000 USD, right? And particularly when I like to trade, I don't like to risk more than 1%. Sometimes if I'm being aggressive, I will risk 3%, but 1% is a good number because no matter how much is actually in your account, if you can come to terms of only ever losing 1% on one single trade, you can know that your account and your actual money in there is going to be relatively secure. If you start over leveraging, risking 5% a trade, that account can disappear real quick when you start taking too many trades. 1% a day, even 2% a day, 2 trades a day, it just keeps some rules going so that you know that you're never going to lose your account and you can come back the next day stronger. So again, looking at this top right, 100,000 USD. We're currently on Bitcoin versus US dollar. So if you're going to trade this, not invest, trade it. You can see that you can sell and buy. You have your 2 options in the top corner. Obviously, this drop down here, it says market, limit, and stop. The 3 different ways that you can trade. The market means that your execution is instant. The limit and stop, they're more pending orders, which means that you set the price that you want it to come to and then it will tap you in and go from there. So you set your trade parameters before the trade's even there. So for this example, I'm just going to choose the market price. Now, below that you have volume, right? And you can change this between USD and lot sizes. Personally, I like to use USD. If you use lot sizes, that's also fine. But for this example, I'm going to go USD because I can then see how much I'm risking per trade. So as I slide this bar here, you're going to see it move from, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%. You can go all the way up to 50%. But this basically is the risk number. So I'm going to put it at 1% because, as I said before, if you're struggling to grow your social media, there is a platform out there that I personally have used and I know that every other YouTuber has used themselves. Now the sponsor is SMM Go. And if you go there today, you can see that you can change whatever social media you have into an absolute rocket ship. They're going to help you every single step of the way. You'll get real service with real speed with an honest and transparent service. So guys, if you're looking to boost your social media and you just haven't got the time or you don't know where to start, then SMM Go is the place for you. Go to smmgo.io today. The links are in the description below. Go ahead, get started and boost that social media. Let's get back to the video. You can see here that it's happy to risk 1% of my account. So looking a little bit further down, you have your take profit and your stop loss. So if I want to put on a trade, I'm going to put my take profit. I'll do my stop loss first. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and take a buy now. I'm going to put my stop loss at $90,000 and I will put my take profit at $100,000. And then I'm obviously going to switch it over to a buy trade because that one just before was on a sell trade, so the parameters didn't make sense. But you hit it over to a buy trade, it means that my take profit is going to be at $100,000 and my stop loss is going to be at $90,000. Price is currently sitting at $94,500, as you can see right up there in the top bit. So it's basically a 1-to-1 at this point. So happy to risk 1% of my account to gain 1% of my account. And it's super easy once you do that. You just go ahead, click buy, you have a look at all of this and you're quite happy to put the trade on. So do not show this again. You may update this feature in trade settings, but you don't have to leave that on. So as the trade looks, it's a market execution, it's a buy trade, current price is 94,529 USD, volume is 0.99 lots, the margin is 187 USD, and your take profit and your stop loss parameters are there as well. So you can see that within this app, it is making sure that you know the risk that you're putting on, which is not a lot of other apps actually have this. So it's really important to note that you can just choose 1% risk and then you can just go ahead, click confirm, and the order is submitted. You can then see at the bottom, you can see your position. So right now, Bitcoin versus US dollar, it's currently up, 20 down to 10. You can see that it is ticking over. And then obviously if you want to make any adjustments with the trade, you've got TP/stop loss. This is where you can change the TP and stop loss. You can move it up to, you can actually get in there and actually change it. So if I want to move it to 110,000, I can, which is absolutely fine. And to be honest with you, I don't want to mess around with the stop loss because, as I said before, my stop loss is currently sitting at around 1%. So I don't really want to mess with that, to be honest. But I'll go ahead and click confirm just to change those parameters. You can see it's successfully done. You have close by, you have partially closed. Partially closed is where you take some profits or you take some losses off the table, but it means that you can reduce your risk a little bit further. Super easy. And then if you want to close the trade, you just go ahead, click close, and then you're quite happily just click confirm and you're out of the trade. I'm going to leave this running for the sake of it, but really easy to put this trade on. Super concise on how they actually allow you to manage your risk through this. And it's obviously a really easy app to use, to be honest. And obviously with MetaTrader 5, you have to, say, for example, go online. You have to look at how much, you have to go on risk calculators to work out where to put your stop loss and how much lots to put down. With this, very simple, 1%, and quite happily risk it like that, no problem. So as you can see, these tools are so easily applicable through the PU Prime trading app. And you can see that PU Prime is a company that actually prioritizes customer safety and longevity, which obviously builds big trust between customer and client. All the links you need are in the description below. So go ahead, click those, get involved, get signed up, and get trading. See you on the next one.